Hi and welcome to another Define Tomorrow video, joined today by Stephen Peake of Barracuda. We recently just recorded a video looking into how to protect the user, the human, from protection. The title was something about protect yourself from your doppelganger or something like that, I think. Anyway, the link will be sort of here or something like that, I'm sure, when you're watching this video. What we wanted to do is show people Sentinel, so the product that you're using to protect against that human layer, to give people an overview of actually how it works. So Stephen, over to you.
Yeah, sure. So what you can see here is the Sentinel interface. The first thing you'll notice is it's very simple. The whole premise of Sentinel is it's an AI-driven platform
Okay.
using the likes of machine learning, and so ultimately there's no settings for you to really manage like traditional email protection products. Secondly, this is not in line with the mail flow. Again, like the traditional gateway product, that would be in line with your mail coming in and out of your email platform. This integrates direct into the Office 365 APIs, which means we can see inside of every mailbox within that instance. It gives us a unique perspective. And go back to the previous video, we talked about how it can then learn who talks to who about what.
Sure.
So what you can see at the top here is an overview of how many mailboxes we've got protected, and a quarantine, number of spear phishing attacks we've seen in a period of time. This is obviously a demo system, so there's not much in there.
Of course.
And you can see then down the bottom, there's a number of phishing attacks visible. And you can click on the little clipboard, and you can see then a summary and an overview of why we've quarantined that email. Okay. And that email is ultimately about its risk. We've defined from the parameters that we're checking that email is not correct.
Okay.
And so what the user will have seen is that email is no longer in their inbox. It's been moved to junk or deleted, dependent on preference. And they've had a replacement of an email saying, hey, we've intercepted this email, and these are the reasons why. And you can see here at the top where we say analysis, we're detecting that the from address of the user is not that particular user's typical address.
Okay.
But we're also understanding the intent of the email and the urgency. So this email, for instance, that I've got up on the screen, we're asking about availability, and it's a special request. So we're not just, again, looking for that payload of malicious content. We're actually understanding what that email is asking.
And building a risk factor, isn't it? Understanding actually how much risk does this email impose, and that's added up by these different risk factors to then go, look, this is significant, you need to do something.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. And so we will quarantine it and ultimately move that out the way of the user.
Sure.
Again, it's using technology to aid the user from being tricked into taking that potential action.
Yeah.
Because although the action itself is not malicious, that potentially is then talking to a malicious party, who will then potentially ask for another action to be carried out, then following a traditional social engineering attack where I've received an email saying, hey, can you commit this action quickly?
Yeah.
And because it's quick and everybody's busy, then the user replies, hey, yes, sure. And then they receive an email back, oh, can you please do?
Sure.
Can you please make a payment? Can you please contact this person?
And we've all seen it, and from my perspective, you hear about an accounts department accidentally sent a sum of money to somewhere else, but I'm also hearing it from people like builders and plumbers and stuff like that, where their accounts have been attacked and someone has ended up paying someone else for the extension or something like that. So this is a very common problem.
So what we're seeing more and more of is what we see as account compromise and account takeover. And so this is that the start off with potentially a phishing email similar to what I've just brought up on the screen, but is asking for a user potentially to reset their Office 365 credentials. They go click on the link, and all of a sudden they've gone off to a malicious site. At that point, they put their credentials in. The malicious site takes the credentials, doesn't reset their password. All of a sudden, that third party who's after who's committing the malicious act, have your credentials. They can get into your account. They won't necessarily go and use that account. They'll watch and learn. And like you say, builders, plumbers, accountants, whoever you like.
Anybody.
Anybody well, if they find out you've got an invoice, for instance, well, why not intercept it, change
Yeah.
it, send it on?
And they know what your invoice looks like because they've seen what you were trying to send out. They know it's just in time for the attack to work. Yeah.
And so what we have in Sentinel as additional to the AI engine is also our account takeover element, which allows you to put some details in about a compromised account.
Sure.
And then to try and detect whether that's spread across your network or across your Office 365 instance.
Sure.
We also have what our domain fraud elements, which is we haven't got any data in this system. It's a demo system. But our domain fraud is about using the DMARC framework to help defend against malicious parties using your brand.
Okay.
It's very much about adding on top of frameworks known as SPF.
Okay. Yeah.
And DKIM.
Sure. So it's a very simple product. I think those of you that are looking to buy a very, very complex product that you can turn knobs on and spend many hours programming it, this isn't the product for you. But clearly, for most people, they're looking for something that's simple, that's quick, that can just easily sort this problem out for them. The price has got to be right because we're layering this security solution on and we're getting lots of ticks in the boxes from that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, simplicity is part of what Barracuda does.
Definitely.
So simple interface, simple to deploy, 2 or 3 clicks, and away you go. You're connected into the Office 365 environment. The learning and scanning process can take a little bit of time.
Sure.
Minutes to hours, dependent on how large an environment we're interfacing with. But ultimately, that doesn't matter whether you're a small business or a large business, that process is the same.
Okay.
Which means the deployment is simple, straightforward, and from the moment we finish that scan, Sentinel is doing its job of protecting you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you ever so much for that demonstration today. If you'd like any more information about Sentinel or any of the Barracuda products, please head over to computerworld.co.uk. Thank you.